So this is Chippy from umpcportal.com. We're doing a live session at the moment, but I'm just going to take the first 10 minutes of the live session to show you the Wibrain i1, which turned up today. This is a sample device. This is not actually a retail device sent to us by Mobile X in Hungary. They are a global retailer and actually have pretty good recommendations from customers and from us as well. So thanks for sending it over. So Wibrain i1, this is the newer version of the Wibrain. Actually almost exactly the same. The old version was built on VIA processor. New version is built on the Intel Atom processor with a couple of changes around it as well. So the actual layout of the device is pretty similar. You've got the 4.8 inch screen, 1024 by 600, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit on that so you can see it. We've got the split keyboard on the left hand right hand side, and we've got this touchpad on the right hand side as well. And I really ought to try and move that camera, so 1 second. There we go. As I said, this is a live session, so not really set up for perfect YouTube recording. On the right hand side, a touchpad, which is Synaptics, touch click, a double touch to double click to click and drag. Very useful. On the left hand side, you've got cursor keys and some mouse buttons and page up, page down, and these are multi keys, so with a function press you can actually get things like screen brightness up and down and resolution change. And at the bottom on the left here is a volume rocker switch. So on the right hand side, let's zoom in on that. A couple of changes. If you have a look at the old Wibrain B1, you'll see at the bottom is a USB port, and at the top is the Wi-Fi switch. Well, on this one, because a lot of people were complaining that you couldn't actually hold the device in two hands when something was plugged into the USB port, they've moved it away now. The power switch and lock is here, and the three-way switch between Wi-Fi, off, and WAN. So you can't have Wi-Fi and WAN on at the same time, and that pretty much makes sense. Is up here. So that's a good change there. So what they've done is they've actually moved the, and I want to get the lighting right so you can see it, they've moved the USB port, very difficult to see in this light, to there. There you go, you can just about see that in the middle on the top. So you've still got the pop-up webcam, but they've also integrated on the back a pop-up antenna, because this unit has got HSDPA built in. So that's on the top. On the left hand side you've got headphones, microphone port. Note that there's no microphone on the device, not that I've found yet. Just the same as the B1, there was no microphone on the device, so you're always going to have to use a headset if you want to use this for Skype or something like that. And then there's something else that was missing from the previous one, SD card slot. We'll test that to see if that's SDHC compatible. On the bottom is the 12 volt DC input. On the bottom is the docking station as before, but we don't know whether that is backward compatible with the B1. So if you've got a B1 with a docking station or the car mount or the VGA port, we don't know if it's going to work. And in fact, Wibrain have told us not to test it out at this time because they are not certain that all the electronics are compatible. There are a couple of changes on the fascia of the device. If you look carefully at the old B1, you'll see there's the silver flashing around the screen and around the mouse pad on the right. They've done away with that on this one. There's no silver flashing, and in fact it looks a lot smoother from the front. They've also slightly smoothed the edges of the corners, and so from the front it's a lot more pleasing to the eye. It's still a slightly strange layout, and this arrangement on the left hand side is quite frankly quite ugly. Could be made a lot better. And there are also issues, I think, with the silver flashing around the outside, which looks quite cheap. Could have been made black to really hide that. Although that can be used as a trick to make the device look thinner. If it was all black, it would probably look a lot thicker. In terms of thickness, it's still at the I think 20 to 22 mil mark. I don't know actually. No. What am I talking about? It's near 35 mil so it's not exactly the thinnest device. But what they have actually done is they've actually managed to squeeze in the 30 watt hour battery on the back. So this is the same capacity battery that you see on basic netbooks, 30 watt hours, in fact bigger than some. So it's a 2-cell battery, and this is where things start to get interesting with the Intel Atom processor, because this thing will last forever. Well, not quite forever. The old B1 used to last for about 3 hours connected to the internet. This one, in my testing today, we've seen that it can run over 5 hours connected to the internet, which is a significant step forward. That's double the battery life for the B1, and for a handheld device that is something like 600 grams in weight, I think it's even less than that, it's a first. 6 hours. The old Rayon Digital Everrun used to be pretty good, but when you consider the processor that's in this, the Geode processor, and compare it to the 1.3 gigahertz Atom that's in this, which is hyperthreading enabled, it's a world apart. In fact, this is faster than, for example, the early Origami devices that were running on the Celeron, and faster than the Pentium M. When I say faster, I mean in terms of raw Crystal Mark tests. Crystal Mark is the benchmark that we use to test ALU and FPU results, but it does seem to be faster, and certainly in usability as well, it seems to be a lot better than the B1, not only in power but in heat and noise as well. I've been running this one today for a good 4 or 5 hours, and the fan came on once, and I was testing full speed video, basically everything I could. So this is a good sign that this is a nice, efficient processor, and certainly it reflects in the battery life figures. The fan, when it does come on, only seems to come on when you've got the power plugged in, and it is quite loud when it comes on, but it's not too bad. A small change to the keyboard. They've actually changed the click, I don't know what you call it, the membrane behind it, but the click mechanism is a lot better now, actually. Where the old B1 that I have here is a little bit squishy and difficult to know if you've actually registered a key press, this one leaves you in no doubt that you've pressed a key. It's actually really nice, slightly soft, but with a definite click, and I hope that carries through to the production model, because it's a good advantage over the previous one. So I'm booting this up now. While I do that, I also need to seem to have lost my feedback video, but we'll do it blind. Just booting this up into XP. Boot up times are around a minute as per standard stuff. I'm going to zoom in a bit further so you can see a bit better. 1024 by 600 screen is lovely. It's extremely bright. It's touch screen, and if we do maybe we could do a couple of quick tests here to show you that it is pretty usable. So we can fire up Firefox here. Well, actually, maybe we should let the device get through its boot up. While it does that, let me tell you, it's got 1 GB RAM, 60 GB of hard drive in here. So it's not an SSD based device. Hard drive speeds are around 30 megabit read, 30 megabit write. So it's middle of the road disk speed, which means there's room for improvement. Even though this seems to be quite a good UMPC in terms of performance, there's room for even more improvement if you were putting an SSD in there. So everything looks like it's booted up now. I haven't actually got connection with wireless, so I'm just going to switch the wireless on the right hand side there. We should connect straight to a hotspot that I've got set up here. But let's fire up Firefox at the same time. It takes about 3 seconds to fire up. We're connected to the hotspot now. I'm just going to try again, and it's straight to Google. We'll go to Google News, which takes about 5 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5 seconds. I haven't got drag and grab installed on this, but basically the speed of browsing is really good. I'm seeing sort of 11 seconds for Engadget, where an iPhone would take more than double that, and a Windows smartphone would take 3 or 4 times that. Up to a minute to get some long pages. And of course it's Firefox, everything works, including plugins and extensions as well. So we'll leave it there for the introduction. As I say, this is a live session we're doing. We're going to carry on talking about the device, but I want to cut the introduction short there so that I can send this video to YouTube. If there's any questions you've got, umpcportal.com, search for Wibrain. You'll find all the articles on the i1 where we're adding as much information as we can as we go along. But first impressions are good. Battery life fantastic. 3G reception good. The problems with the old B1 seem to be sorted out, and that's heat and noise and the position of the USB port. The SD card slot has been added. Really great step forward for the B1. If you don't mind the form factor, if you're prepared to take a strange form factor, but believe me, it's actually quite a good, easily usable form factor. This is an excellent UMPC so far. As I say, sample device, not out on the market yet. We're expecting Q1 2009, and we'll see what the pricing is when we get nearer to that date. So Steve Payne, Chippy from UMPC Portal with the Wibrain i1 from mobilex.eu. Give them a look. They've actually got it on pre-order right now, so go and have a look. Alright, thanks very much. So let's kill that and send that to stop that.